Oh,
Yes,
Yep.
you
Dun, dun,
got
dun,
it.
dun, dun, dun. Look at that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I
Okay,
like
I'm
it.
out of here.
So is it official? Can we start
Yep.
talking?
It's official. You can start talking. Chris will be
All right.
here in just a minute.
Thanks for your help, Mama T.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
bye.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of RNN Live. We have one guest tonight, possibly another. Our leader is on his way here. He'll probably be here in about 10 minutes. But we are going to start without him because his wife has more of a clue than I do. So she was able to get us on here to go live. So, with that being said, a lot of series started off. One of them happened to be, oh, hold on. I said series, and my phone thought I said Siri. Let me get rid of that. So, one of the racing organizations that started up was the Northeast Super Street Association. They had their first race on Saturday, and that was also the opening weekend delayed for Lebanon Valley. They were supposed to open up last Sunday, but Mother Nature had other plans for them. So this weekend turned out to be opening day, and we are sitting with the winner. Matt, hold on. Let me see if I get this. Viscione?
Viscione, close enough.
Viscione. See, I didn't know if I should throw the E on there at the end or not, but I was close. Matt Viscione, he slummed around and threw a throttle stop on the car. Literally, well, here's what we're going to say. We're going to say you put the throttle stop on at the 10th hour. You got everything to stop leaking at the 11th hour.
Pretty much.
And then you went racing and you brought home the W on Saturday. Congratulations.
Thank you. I still can't believe it, to be honest.
Hey, listen, that's, last year when I went out for the first time, I had my car on the chassis dyno on Wednesday, drove up to Lebanon Valley Wednesday night and did some testing for the divisional. And with very low expectations, I got down to 5 cars. So I know exactly what you're talking about when you say you didn't expect it. You just kind of hope for the best. And you took it further than me because you brought home the trophy. So that was awesome.
I want to say I'm just lucky more than anything else.
Hey, listen, you can say lucky all you want, but I had the privilege of you sending me the time slips all weekend long, and you letting go of the button was definitely not luck. You were chopping the tree down.
I just threw numbers in it just based off of what I was running the handful of times I had on it last year,
Yep.
going off the top bulb, and I just got lucky getting close, and I just adjusted from there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it worked out good. We set you up a little bit on the fast side to start
Yeah.
because you'd rather be fast than slow, obviously. And you did the track rental on Friday.
Briefly, yeah.
Yep. And you had some overheating issues
Yeah.
and you worked your way through that stuff. And you came out Saturday guns blazing. Tell us about your day.
Um, well, went into the day from starting off the day going 10:40, which was a lot faster than I had originally thought on
Yep.
Saturday. And thankfully, I had my mother there with me, and she's more of a throttle stop numbers whiz. She'll deny it, but I trust her more than anything else when it comes to the math and stuff like that.
Sure. Sure.
And talking to you and a handful of other people, trying to figure out what the ratio was going to be, just throwing numbers at it. Threw a bunch of numbers at it. Second time shot, I think I was like 1080 and qualified like 17th. But I figured, okay, at least I'm on the fast side.
Sure.
And
Yeah, the bad thing about the fast side is it drops you all the way to the bottom of the ladder. The
yeah,
good thing about it is at least you know you're getting there. So that's a good thing.
yeah, I wasn't all too worried about where I qualified. The fact that it just went down the track and on the stop and it worked fine after I figured out the heating issues,
Sure.
that I was just happy with that. But first round, I think I raced Pete Diamond and got lucky there. It seemed like he might have had some problems because he came off the stop and I was already past him by half track. And second round, I probably had the closest race I've had that I can remember with Bill Arpine. I think it 4/10, 100,000. I forget what it was. I don't have the time slip in front of me, but I just
Yep.
know that I was 89.5 and change to his 89.5 and change and getting there 9,000 in front of him. And
I think it was 4/10,000 was the
yeah,
margin of victory.
yeah. And then I got lucky based on the ladder getting the bye the next round.
Yep.
And cars slowed up more than I had anticipated. So that kind of got me a little worried and started pulling some numbers out. And ended up getting a close race with Laura, which that was another good race. And
Yeah, let me tell you something. I've raced her a couple of times, and she's handed me my ass on a silver platter a couple of times. She's a tough racer.
oh, I knew going into that she was going to be one of the toughest rounds I
Oh yeah,
had because she
yeah.
qualified number one as well. And
Between Bill Arpine and her back to back. Well, you had to buy in the middle, but
yeah,
having to race them competitors back to back, that's no one could say that you got the day handed to you. That's for sure.
yeah. And I never raced against Laura before, but I had raced against Alpine dozens of times back in the day.
Yep.
So, and I'm trying to pull up my memory, like, okay, I know how fast they are, and I'm just trying to remember how, because
Sure.
I haven't been in the class in like 5, 6 years,
Yep.
and so I'm trying to remember, but I've still been watching everybody over the time, just trying to remember what everybody does and how they set
Sure.
up.
Yep.
So, but I somehow got by Laura, then I ended up racing Pillman in the final, and just get down towards the end of the track, and I saw he wasn't catching me, and I could think I saw him rip it once. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna drop it then. And dropped it down to a 93 to his 95, and somehow my win light came on. I don't know how that.
It happened the same way it happened all day long, right?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure we're live because I'm getting texts from people asking if it's live.
Really
Yeah,
interesting. Well, I know if nothing else, I'm gonna go on Facebook and look now, but I know if nothing else,
I got it
let's
up right now. I hit refresh, and
so you might have to go on Chris's page.
oh, okay, that could be why.
Oh yeah, it says that he's live. So yeah, go on Chris Barnes' page.
Okay, that's
If you go to Chris Barnes' page and share the post
yeah.
on yours, then it'll get. I'm gonna do that now while we're
Oh,
here.
okay, yeah, now I see it.
Yep. It has something to do with um if you go live on a page versus a personal profile, it changes things.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I think what he normally does is he goes live and then he shares it to the RNN page, which you know what, now that we're talking about that, let's do that too.
yeah, because I keep getting these texts from a bunch of people asking where is it? And so
Let's see here. We gotta go to groups and we have to go to people. As you can tell, I'm a rookie here. Search RNN. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I'm an idiot. News. Racers News Network. Okay, sure. All right. So now everyone should be able to see it. And if I was smart, I would have done that in the
yeah,
beginning. But the good news is it's going to be on YouTube and people could go back and watch it from
yeah,
the beginning. So,
yeah. I've had a few people ask me if they could just watch it on YouTube, and I was like, I
yes.
told them I think it can be seen later
Yeah,
on
he does.
YouTube.
He posts it on YouTube when usually right when we finish up here. It'll probably be on by the end of the night. So,
Oh my God, my
for
mother's even
anyone
texted me.
who missed the start of this gloriously error-filled show, welcome to RNN. Chris is going to be joining us in a minute. We have Matt with us, who was the Super Street winner, and he told us about his day and probably doesn't really want to tell us about his day again. So when this airs on YouTube, you guys could start from the beginning. But anyways, welcome. And so you took home the win. Your first super street race in how many years?
Well, I think maybe it was 22 was the last time I ever raced Super Street at all.
Okay.
And that was with a foot brake car owned by the Ibbetsons and at the divisional. Just wanted to throw my hat back in the ring.
Just to be part of it, right?
Yeah, but prior to that, the last time I had raced Super Street was probably 18.
Oh, wow. Okay. Pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the
Wow.
whole thing
Very
was
nice.
I just wanted to get back into that class.
And now here you are. You're the points leader.
Somehow, yeah.
That's awesome. So, obviously, the people that know you know your history with your stepfather Frank and your mom, and you guys. I mean, Frank was the primary driver of the car, but you definitely spent some time behind the wheel, also, didn't you?
It depends on when, because there was a long period of time where I was doing like 95% of the driving and he'd hop in it now and then, that got flipped every now and then. It
Gotcha.
depended on what we all had going on in our lives. So it was
Sure.
about 50-50 overall.
Nice. Very nice. Hey, keep it down over there. We're trying to have a show. Will you please?
Sure.
So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, you're back in the seat after what's probably close to 8 years.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Has to be a little bit emotional because obviously the last time you did it competitively, you were with your mom and your stepdad.
Yep.
It had to have been, and I didn't realize that your mom was going to be with you.
Yeah.
It had to have been amazing to have her there helping you. Um, yeah, that's
Oh,
when I
yeah.
saw I didn't realize that she was with you until the winner's circle picture. And you and I communicated a lot, and you had told me that she came up with a ratio.
Yep.
But for some reason, I didn't realize she was there. I thought that you guys were just communicating like you and I were communicating.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the picture, I kind of realized that, hey, this is kind of a big deal. I mean, it's your first time back in a
Yeah.
competitive super street car or a car that you were hoping was going to be competitive, but you really didn't know until you started racing it. And then to have your mom there crunching the numbers with you and at your home track, which must have felt good.
Yeah.
Um,
It was just
Very
like
cool
old
stuff.
times, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, very cool stuff. I like
I'll
it.
I'll I'll be honest. The first race I ever won after Frank passed, which was probably about like 5-6 months afterwards,
Okay,
which was down. This is going back now. It was a divisional at the consolation race at the bracket finals at ACO.
gotcha.
And I remember as soon as that win, it's a consolation race, but it's still a win, you know. But
Wins a win, right?
yeah, I just remember going through the stripe and seeing that as soon as going through the stripe, seeing that I started crying because it was the
Oh
first
yeah,
time since that. And after this like I've won one or two couple races here and there since then, but I figured coming into this season, like I might have that emotional like hit again.
right.
But I think I was just more overcome with the fact like I can't believe that just happened after everything else. That it just
Yeah. I mean, there's
I'm
there's there's something to be said for having a newer car and a newer setup and like I know that you were worried about the overheating issue, you were worried about the charging issue, you were wondering why it went slower on the
yeah,
last pass than you thought it should, and all that stuff just really keeps your brain busy where you forget about all the other stuff until you're sitting down in your trailer and you go, hey, what just happened. It's pretty cool.
it still kind of feels like that. It doesn't even feel like I ended up. I just know I made a lot of passes this weekend. So
Right. Right. Yeah. And then after all that, you didn't even stay for Sunday. You just packed up and went home.
yeah, I thought about testing on Sunday because next weekend is the first Summit Points race at the Valley.
Yep.
But I figured I'm not gonna really learn that much because I was gonna open it up to go full without the throttle stuff just to test it
Sure.
out. But after all the passes I made on Saturday and I wanted to go through the car. I just want to make sure it's right for next weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing bolted. I mean, it's been a long winter, right?
Yeah, I
Check
got
everything. Couple of things you have to address, so you take care of it, and
yeah.
it's a
I
smart
I
play.
literally just put it up on jack stands maybe about half an hour before we started here
Yep,
because I got some stuff coming in tomorrow that I'm gonna hopefully throw on it.
nice, good. Chris, just so you know, we got the ball rolling, but I forgot to share it on the RNN page until we were about 10 minutes in. So people are requesting YouTube so they can see it from the beginning. So I know you do that anyway, but make sure you keep our millions and millions of fans happy and get that posted up there.
All 14 of them.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Now next weekend is 5,000 to win, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah,
I know my son's pretty excited about that, so he's looking forward to going.
yeah.
And excuse me. So Saturday is, I would assume now they're getting into the regular swing of things where Saturday will be a test and tune and probably a gambler's race.
Yeah, it's also the first. I'm pretty sure it's the first Porter eighth mile gamblers race, which is a
Gambler's
separate
race.
series.
Nice, nice.
So I figured I'll open it up, without the throttle stop on that, just to get a couple of hits in, and I should be ready for
Sure.
Sunday.
Sure. Now you're just going to zip tie the throttle stop open, I assume, right?
Yep.
You're not going to bother taking it off or anything. You're just going to
Yeah.
open it up and let it go. I'm
Yeah.
curious as to, I mean, you got enough data on the car last year running it wide open.
Yep.
I'm curious how much slower it'll be
I,
going through the open throttle stop.
I am very curious about that too, but I don't think it's gonna be as slow as I maybe feared, just based on what my mile an hour was on the stub.
I'm going to say, of course, it's again, it's going to be hard because you got to kind of guess at weather conditions last year versus this year.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it's going to be anywhere from 500ths to a tenth.
Yeah. That's
That's
about
my
what
guess.
that's about what I'm figuring.
Yeah, yeah. So, hey, we'll see.
And
I know. On my car, it was like 2.5 to 3 mile an hour.
yeah, I would yeah. Sounds about that's about where what about 3, 4 mile an hour slow on the stub compared to what I was doing all out last year.
Yeah. So you know what? That might not be because I'm trying to think. So when I ran actually on the stop, like when I was trying to make a 1090 pass, I would be about 3 mile an hour down from when I ran it wide open with the throttle stop.
Yeah.
So if you're only down 3 mile an hour from a wide open pass while you're on the stop, it might be pretty good.
Yeah.
It might be pretty
Well,
good. I'm curious to see.
uh,
Do you have notes from last year that you could compare weather conditions?
not so much weather conditions. Last year, like I only had it out half a dozen times, and it was very bare bones. I didn't have my weather station up,
I got you. Okay.
and like Saturday was the first time I've broken out the weather station since I don't know 6, 7 years at least.
Right.
And
Right.
mind you, my mother was handling the weather station because that's her thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
learn to do that myself, so too. But
Right. Right. Well, that's good. I'm looking forward to getting progress reports next weekend to see how it's going because it might not slow it down that much. I don't know if my guess is going to be because you have a Dominator on a 4150 intake that adapter might already
yeah,
be hurting you, so to
yeah,
speak.
yeah,
So it might not be that big of a difference with the Dominator throttle stop. Still having to go into that funnel, it might not affect it as much as if you had a wide open Dominator intake and that thing was the throttle stop was the only restriction. So
right.
be curious to see.
Well, one thing I will say is, like, after hitting the throttle stop for the first time like this since we had the Camaro,
Yep.
I wouldn't put it past me to run on the throttle stop more than I had originally planned. It obviously I'm gonna still run the throttle stop in the Nessa races, but I might leave it on occasionally for Super.
To have some fun, give it a different look.
Yeah, it depends on my mood. The one thing I will say, and I know this goes against what a lot of people like, is I actually am one of the weirdos that really likes hitting the throttle stop
Yeah,
because for whatever reason the launch and then they throwing me forward and then cruising and then throwing it back
right.
and knowing that that's throwing an extra wrench into the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
But and I will say hitting the throttle stop on this car is a lot harder than what I was expecting, remembering how it was on the Camaro that we had.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because I think I could be wrong. I think the stop RPM back then was a lot higher than what it's at now with this car.
So usually, like you had told me about with Frank's car, you did the high gear thing and tried to
Yep,
shoot for a nice
yep.
flat RPM. Usually when you do that, again, I'm throwing a very general number out there, but you're usually anywhere between 38 and 4,200. I know that I always shot for 4,000 on my car. Uh, Not for any particular reason. I tried 38, but it wasn't clean. I tried 42, but I carried way more numbers in my timer that I wanted to carry. So I just kind of settled in at 4. But you leaving your car in low gear is one of the reasons why I set it low. What did we set it at? Like 3,500?
We set it at 35. I
Okay.
can't tell you 100% for certain
Yeah,
because I was too concerned with making sure everything else worked. And I didn't use the playback tag at all. So
sure.
a couple of the passes I was able to peek down and see what I was cruising at. It was a little bit higher than what we set it at, but that could also be because the air was really good.
Well, not only that, but what it starts to cruise at isn't going to be what it finishes at the end of two
Right.
seconds. So it probably comes on at 35, 3,600. And by the time it turns off, you're probably at 38 or 39.
That's the thing.
Um,
When I was able to actually see it, it was about like 3,800.
Yeah, so that sounds about right. But one thing that I learned, and I learned from a guy that won a hell of a lot more than me, in Marty Ganjoin. He was like Mr. Super Street.
Yeah, I remember him.
He always left it in low gear.
Yeah.
And when he started kind of talking to me about throttle stop stuff, and I said to him, I go, but how do you know how consistent your throttle stop program is if you don't have a nice flat graph to go by? And he said, what does flat have to do with being consistent? He goes, mine could go up on a ramp, but as long as it's going on a ramp consistency, what's the difference between yours being flat and mine being a ramp? And I kind of thought about it and I'm like, huh, well, I guess he's got a point, right? As long as it does the same thing.
Right.
Um, because I had a big block that made a lot of torque, I really didn't have to worry too much about a performance disadvantage of putting it in high gear right off the stop. But like in talking to him, any engines that were under 650, 700 horsepower, or small block, smaller cubic inch, so let the thing stay in low gear, shift it on RPM, and get the ball moving down the track so that if you're in high gear and the stop comes off, you're going to spend so much time in your converter,
Yeah.
that the thing's coming up in high gear and you don't really have that much ground speed. You're creating a lot of heat, and then you start going rounds, and the heat's going to wind up being your enemy. That he always felt that on a kind of lower horsepower applications to leave it in low gear, and anyone who's ever asked me for help, that's I set them up the way I set you up, and it's always seemed to have been pretty good. So
I did do some throttle stop racing in a dragster, and it was shifting on time, kind of like I am not time, the RPM and having it in low gear. But
yeah.
every time I made it past, no matter what I did, the thing would creep crazy. But at least with this setup right now, when I was able to watch it, it wasn't really creeping that much.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, listen, you can't argue with the numbers or the results. So that's a beautiful thing. Looking forward to hopefully racing with you pretty soon. Would be
I hope
nice.
so.
Yeah, we'll get there. I'm a little behind schedule, but that's pretty much that's pretty much my motto is I'm always behind schedule, but whatever. It's all good. Fortunately, I don't make a living doing racing, so
No, all the money that I won from the race, that's already spent on other things at this point.
oh yeah, yeah, that's always the way too. Winning a race was always the kiss of death for me because like half the time I wouldn't even be able to make it home without the winnings being spent. But yeah, it's all part of the game, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff. So, Chris, how are you, my friend?
I am doing good. I apologize for being late. One of my students' flights was delayed by 2 hours coming out of Reagan.
Wonderful.
So yeah, I was hoping to be home by 5, but
It's life of a working man. I know someone who's grateful to be back to work, so they don't really care, right?
this is true. This is very true.
Yep.
No, all is good. Just watching excuse me. Um more IHRA stuff happening.
Yes.
Hmm.
Now here's the weird thing, and obviously I'm gonna say, you guys are gonna look at me and go, duh. But for some reason, I thought a couple of months ago IHRA bought Empire.
That's what I
Um,
thought too.
yeah, right. Okay, so I'm not the only
There
idiot.
was
Thank God.
there was there was something about they were I again something I
Right.
don't know verbatim that had to do with the sanctioning because they switched from WDRA to IHRA,
Okay.
and then it's almost like maybe IHRA became like a minority partner, maybe,
Gotcha.
and then
So it must have been when it switched to IHRA. I mean, right now, when you hear anything IHRA, it's the guy buying the track. So maybe I just assumed it when I heard they switched, which is probably the case. But
right,
yeah, I've never been to Empire. I have really become a traveling wuss. I don't like going long distances. Um, and not because I don't like driving. I'll hop in my motorhome and drive down to Florida tomorrow. I love that trip. I just don't like racing far away. When Atco closed and when Englishtown, not that Englishtown was that far away, but it just felt like it whenever you tried to make the trip.
Hmm.
I just, we spent. I think one time my wife looked at me. We went to Lebanon Valley, and I don't know if it was for a super street race or if it was just a weekend of testing or whatever. And we went there. Car ran good. The track was great. Obviously, we know more people there than we do anywhere else. So we're hanging around in the fire and all that stuff. And then we get in the car and we go home. And in 2 hours, we're pulling into our driveway. My wife looked at me and she goes, "Why do we do all the stupid shit that we do?" Right. We saved a bunch of money by staying closer in diesel fuel and entry fees, not being a divisional, obviously. She's like, why do we do this? And I really couldn't come up with a good answer. So
well,
so we've done the majority of our racing at Lebanon Valley, and we're spoiled because we have such a great facility, great people. Competition is second to none as far as I'm concerned. So it's like, would I like to go to Empire to an IHRA race? Yeah, I wouldn't mind, but I don't really feel like traveling 4 hours because I don't think I'm going to have more fun than if I just spent the weekend at Lebanon Valley. And now that my
the
kid
guy
is racing there, it's like even more I don't want to go anywhere else.
when they announced their national event, excuse me, I had a couple of people ask me if I was going to go check it out.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know yet. And I hadn't mapped it out yet. So I looked it up on Google Maps, and from my house to the track to Empire, it was like 8.25, 8.5 hours.
It's
Like,
that far?
Now I'm
yeah,
curious.
How could that be?
for me, so because it's up around Syracuse.
I have to map
Again,
quest it
I'd
now
have
to
to
see how
look it
far
up.
away I am.
I'm a little over 6 hours.
Yeah. So you figure the most direct way for me to get there is to go over the mountain,
Oh, I'm
then to
6 hours.
Albany.
I thought I was 4.
Hmm.
Right now I'm 5 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah. And I'm
So
like,
how long does it take to get from Lebanon Valley to Empire? I thought it was only like 2 hours to go from the Valley to Empire, but clearly it's not.
no, you
Got to be
figure
closer
it's
to
three
3.
hours.
About four
When
and
I
a half
leave my house
hours.
to go to the valley, it's 3 hours. So
Right.
it's approximately 4 to 5 hours to go from there to there.
Jesus. Now I
I
really
think
know I don't want to go.
Yeah, because I
I
mean
think I made
that
that
was like
trip
one of the
once
reasons.
way back in the day.
I had a bunch of friends of mine because they had a really big RC drag race up there. And they might have had it. I don't know why I went. I'm going to say no, I'm wrong. I was going to say they had the Street Outlaws guys there. And I want to say it was the same weekend, but there's no way it could have been because then I would have went if they were there because you know how I feel about them.
Right.
But they did have a race there, and the guys went. They said it was a nice track, but holy shit, I don't remember it taking them 6 hours. But maybe
Yeah,
I don't
'cause
remember because I wasn't making it with them. So whatever.
I don't remember the exact proximity to where it is close to Syracuse, but
Yeah,
I know it's close to Syracuse. And a company that I used to work for back in the day was based in Rochester,
yeah.
New York. And I remember driving up there for a week of schooling, and it was an 8.5 hour drive. So,
Yeah.
and like I
And
said, the track is somewhere
right.
right in that area.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, if I do get brave enough to make that trip, it's not going to be when diesel's $6 a gallon. I promise you that.
That's like one of the reasons why I was looking at vans because I was just going to I mean, I want to buy my own car
Right.
again, and I want something that'll be functional for what I need.
Yep.
And I was like, "Ah, man, now the price of gas has gone up, the price of diesel's gone. I actually paid attention to the diesel today driving around for work.
Yep.
$6, 6.19 a gallon up here. I
Yeah.
thought I can't imagine what it is down where you guys are.
Oh, it's cheaper. Believe it or not, I don't know what the deal is with Connecticut that used to be like one of the top 3 states. Diesel and gas are cheaper here than in Florida, believe it or not. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I don't know about I know diesel's cheaper. I don't know how much. I know that the last time I was in Florida, gas was between 15 and 20 cents a gallon cheaper here than there. So right now I just got gas yesterday here. Regular gas, it was 3.89. And I feel like diesel's around 5.60. I think I saw 5.59 here.
It feels like everywhere around me is a lot more
I put
expensive too.
gas in Tanya's car the other day, and it was 4.19 for gas.
Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of $4 stations around. But because I travel an hour every day, I kind of know where the cheap ones are.
Right.
So believe it or not, the 3.89 was right down the street from my house. But sometimes it's cheaper in Waterbury. So depending on where I'm going, or like if I'm in a mood for an egg sandwich in the morning, I'll go to Cumberland Farms and fill up in Waterbury or whatever. But I do hunt around because I drive by about 30 gas stations a day. So
All right, real quick. I just want to answer this question.
yep,
7 hours and 12 minutes
for you to Empire.
for me to Empire.
Yeah, so I'm not that much. I just looked it up and I'm 550. So we'll call that
No,
6.
I would say realistically with traffic, 8 hours.
Right. Wow. That's a hike. Jesus, that's like Cecil County drive for me. And nothing
Yeah,
against
Cecil
Empire
County
Driveway, but
was,
if I'm gonna go somewhere for 6 hours, I'm going to Cecil County.
yeah, exactly. Like when we went to the pig roast, what, 7, 8 years ago, from our house to Bob's house, which is about 15 minutes away from Cecil,
Yep.
it was like 8.5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would much rather make that drive than drive all the way up to Canada, essentially.
Right. It's weird with the traffic because as you know, I used to, this is the first year I didn't, but I used to drive my motorhome down in the fall and then drive it back in the spring. And it seems like um, when we're coming home, we go right by the Cecil County exit.
Yeah.
And then, 4 hours later, we're pulling into our driveway and we say, how did we make it from Cecil County to home in 4 hours? But whenever we're going drag racing, it takes 12. It's like, what happens? Do they know when I put my trailer on the back, like all the traffic just decides
It says,
to,
haha,
how does it happen?
we got you now.
But
I mean,
as the mileage goes, these trips to Acco is always Acco and Maple Grove. Man, I've never made good time going to either one of those tracks. It's just so I've done okay going to Englishtown, depending on when you leave or what you do. But man, I just Acco or Maple Grove, every freaking time I've gone or come home, a 4 hour trip always turns into 6. It's the way it is.
I always
the
banked on it being
secret,
at least 6.
the secret that I found out when I'm traveling south of the city
Yep.
is that I go to Albany, get on the thruway,
Right.
haul ass down the thruway, and come out south of the city and then get on 95.
Yep.
That's the secret for me up here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Are you going Tappan Zee or George Washington though?
I've done both. My route of choice is always Tappan Zee
Yeah,
because George Washington is always a freaking nightmare.
I did that once by mistake. No.
What's that? GW?
Yeah,
So it was funny because whenever we really did a lot of divisionals and I did the Echo and the Englishtown and then the Englishtown national event and Cecil County and I've even gone to Virginia a couple of times. Whenever I've done that, for some reason, once a year, I would say, you know what, let's try the GW because it is about 20 to 30 miles shorter.
yeah.
This time of day, traffic isn't bad. And Matt, every freaking time I do, I say never again. Besides the fact that you feel like you leave half your undercarriage in New York. You always hit traffic no matter what. And the people are nuts. They will literally bounce right off of you and keep on going. They don't care.
I
But I usually had to do my once a year stupidity reminder so that, okay, never again. And
I remember back in the day, and this has kind of scarred me from ever really wanting to do the GW.
yep,
I'm like 90% sure this was way, way back in the day. I was a kid, and my mother had an old Nissan pickup truck with it was a black like 90 something Nissan pickup truck with a white cab on it, and it was a single cab. So Frank and my mother would be in the front seat, and my kid ass would be in the back on a mattress underneath the cab.
yep,
And I just remember falling asleep back there somehow and waking up in the middle of us going over the GW and just having semi trucks on all 4 sides.
yeah,
It scared the hell out of me.
yep, yeah.
I thought for sure you were going to say you came out of that with like 7
I
concussions
don't.
going over the bridge.
I don't. I always kid around when we were doing the races, and I believe the Epping National and the Lebanon Valley Divisional were always back to back for a while.
Yeah.
And I remember kidding around about whenever I could pull out of my driveway and take a right instead of a left, and I don't have to go over a bridge, it's going to be a good trip.
Yeah.
And now Every time I pull out of my driveway, I take a right. So go figure, right?
Yeah, it's just really bad. It like just trying to get out through the armpit of that part of New York
Right,
to
right.
get anywhere south for us.
Yep. It's of course the people on Long Island are, you know, listening to us going, who, these guys think they got it bad, but still, we can still complain. It still sucks, right?
For me,
Yeah.
it's anything west of New Haven to GW that or Tappan Zee. That's just a nightmare for me.
Yep. Yep. No doubt. No doubt. So,
When we came back, this will conclude the traffic nightmare portion of the show. When we came back from Cecil County that time, Elijah was still a little kid. He was what, 12, 13 years old.
yep.
He hadn't been through New York City yet. So I looked at Tanya, she looked at me, and I'm like, we both shrugged our shoulders. Said, all right, screw it. Drove through New York City and across to George Washington.
Yep.
Yeah. And we got to the other side, the safe side, with everything still intact. We didn't leave any car parts behind.
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
like, so Elijah, did you enjoy that? He's like, can we never go that way again?
Yeah, right. Yep. So we had a national event this weekend,
We did. And
and we asked someone if they could come on the show, and unfortunately, their schedule didn't allow it. So he's with us in spirit. One of the things that I wanted to ask him is if he's ever had two cars in a final of a national event before, and if he's ever doubled up.
I know Rob is listening,
Yep.
so there's an above average chance we'll still get an answer to that.
Okay. I feel like I know he's definitely been in two finals. I just don't know if it was at a national event. But I don't know if he ever actually doubled up, which with everything Superman has done, you got to know that it's only a matter of time before he hits that grand slam. But holy shit, he's a good racer, isn't he?
Oh, I remember racing with him back when we were doing it with Frank back in the day.
Yeah.
Even back like it was like 15 years ago or something like that. Even like back then, he was scary for me. And
Oh my God, he's just and people always use the excuse that, well, if I made as many passes during the year as he did, I'd be just as good. You know what? Bullshit.
yeah, no,
Would I be better than I am now if I made that many passes? Absolutely. Would I be as good as him? I nah.
if I have to race him, if I'm even like remotely in the ballpark, I'll count that as a win against him.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I beat him once up at Lebanon Valley in the divisional, and it was like in the third round, and I feel like I won the friggin' race. It's like, I mean, he's flat nasty.
Yeah.
He's a very talented racer. He's a great guy to talk to.
Oh yeah.
I wish that he was coming on the show tonight because he is a blast to talk to. He's as down to earth as it gets. And I'm sure at some point we'll get him on the show. But hats off to Keith for the winner and the runner up in both Super Street and Super Gas. So congrats to him. Is it a surprise? Nope. It sure isn't. It definitely
I'm
isn't.
more surprised he didn't double up at that point.
I mean, that's kind of like I don't know if you could ever truly be surprised when someone doesn't double up because that's like an amazing feat. But, I mean, the guy he's just nasty. He's very good at what he does.
So, excuse me, in Super Gas, the winner, Tom Powell, 990 with a 1.
Yep.
Keith was in a 984 with a 5.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Super Street for his Wally, he was an 87 with a 4.
Yep.
And his competitor, Ray Drew, was 84 with a 5.
Okay. So he broke out less.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder what happened to him on on the super gas. What were do you have the mile and hours on the super gas?
Let's see. Tim was 165.8.
Yeah.
Keith was 148.3. So
Yeah. So I
almost 20
mean,
mile an hour.
well, yeah, but I'm wondering, like, I don't know how fast, if his competitor is like, is he normally 180-mile-an-hour car?
Right.
Did he push Keith as far as he could go and then drop him on his ear? But Keith definitely bailed because I know his car is faster than 148. So does it have the reaction times by any chance?
I don't, I have the full results. Give me a minute and I can get that, I think.
I mean, not it doesn't really matter what they are. It's not like I'm going to be able to guess what the hell happened. But listen, and you know, when you see people, I'll give you a quick example. I raced one of the Nichols kids. I went to Maple Grove and I raced, and in the third or fourth round, I went 10 red. And I remember being pissed off. And I came home, and a couple weeks later, I went racing at Lebanon Valley, and I raced Sean Nichols in the final in a super street race, and he went 10 red. And I remember when I went 10 red at Maple Grove, I said, there's no friggin' way. There's no way I was that early. I staged perfect. It's impossible. And then I raced Sean, who's got about 80 million laps going down the track at Lebanon Valley, who's about as talented as they get. And he went 10 red against me. And when we got to the end of the track, he goes, "Yeah, I don't know. I must have gotten all of that one." And I remember thinking to myself, who the hell am I? Who do I think I am that I race 5 times a year? And when I go 10 red, I think, no way. And here's this kid who's got more laps in 1 year than I have in my whole life. And he went 10, and he's like, yeah, you know, it happens. What are you going to do? And it kind of changed my mindset as to, you know, why am I being so hard on myself? These friggin' people that do it way more than me have a lot more trouble. So,
All right. So thank you, Matt, by the way. Um, in Super Gas,
yep,
Tim, who won again, Tim Powell, was 008.
yep.
Keith 002.
Wow. What a crazy race. I wonder why there was such a big difference at the end. I mean, the only thing that I could think of is that the winner had probably a 20-mile-an-hour advantage on him and just pushed him, and just let him free. Because Keith is not the kind of guy to take 600 stripe. I mean, I'm sure the winner must have fed him quite a few. But yeah, that's pretty wild. That's a tight race off the line, huh?
Hold on, I'm trying to find. All right, so in the final of Super Street, excuse me, Keith was 035, and the person he defeated was what's that? Let's want to make sure I say this right. Was -55.
Oh, he went red.
Yeah,
He went
according to
wow,
this.
-55. He went like purple.
Oh, 55, excuse me.
Yeah, that's really red.
Yeah. So
Excellent. Well, hey, it happens. It definitely
happens to the
happens.
best of you.
And did you see again, I gotta talk about because I'm a groupie. Did you see that the Street Outlaws were at ZMAX?
You know, this is what's so funny about the universe of racing in general.
Yeah.
Not that long ago, they were like,
I already know what you're gonna say.
yeah, they were like, you know, the bastard enemy children of the world of drag racing.
Right.
Now they're like kissing their feet and their foreheads and hugging them and blowing in their ear and saying, "Come to our races."
So I'm going to tell you
A little
I
stone.
believe to be true about that whole situation. NHRA wasn't bitching that they were street racing. They were bitching that they were street racing while displaying their NHRA numbers on the car. And that was their gripe. And I mean, let's face it, we all know why Wally Park started NHRA. Right? It was strictly to get people off the street. Well,
Yeah.
if in my opinion, and I could be totally wrong, but in my opinion, NHRA wouldn't have said anything to these people if they didn't have their NHRA numbers or stickers on the car. Because what they did was they said, listen, stop or we're going to revoke your license. And that was the license that was displayed on the car. So I get it. Um, I don't believe that NHRA is circling the drain by any means. I don't believe it. And in all the years that I've been racing, I've heard NHRA is going belly up about 5 times. And as you could clearly see, they've made it through COVID. They've made it through imports. They've made it through pro stock with no hitch coops. They've made it through all that stuff. And they're still here and they're not going anywhere. But as much as I love Street Outlaws and NPK, they are definitely circling the drain. So to see them come out and get on TV again, this might be able to get them going in the other direction because let's face it, the number one thing that killed them was not being on TV anymore. They were at the height of their popularity until Discovery went in another direction. And that was the end of their, when you couldn't turn the TV on and see anything new from them anymore, that's when their popularity started going downhill because the year before that happened, I was at the NPK event at Epping and it was standing room only. And it was absolutely crazy. Then the year after that, they lost the TV contract, and then away it went.
I kind of lost track of them after they lost the TV contract. I never really followed them all too closely.
Right. So all the years that they did the street racing before NPK even started, the year that NPK wasn't televised was season 6. So they had to have at least 6 or 7 years before NPK. So they were anywhere from 12 to 15 years on TV, and like literally every year it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then all of a sudden when Discovery flipped the switch, that was it. Then they tried different things. They tried, the live stream stuff. They tried all that, and now it kind of sucks because even though they signed this contract with NHRA, half of them went to IHRA. So even if you go to an event where they're racing, you're still not going to see, Disco Dean and Kai Kelly and all them because they're all IHRA. And as we already know, the two don't play nice with each other. So it's like whoever they signed a contract with. But that was the talk at PRI was that the Street Outlaw, they don't call them the Street Outlaws anymore for legal reasons, whatever it is. It's like Outlaw Street or whatever the hell they call it now. But that was the big news of PRI that they were going to be racing national events at NHRA. And this week was the first week that they did it.
Speaking of IHRA, did you see what was announced today with the
I
Triple
did
Crown?
not.
Ron Capps Motorsports confirms they will be at our first IHRA Triple Crown.
Really?
And that's
Yeah,
the Maple
they
Grove.
announced
Yeah,
it this afternoon.
Maple Grove, the one at Maple Grove.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder, it wouldn't surprise me if they don't start getting along soon it wouldn't surprise me if they intentionally put races on top of each other
Yeah.
so that people have to make the choice. Because I'm sure the only reason why Ron Capps is going is because there isn't an NHRA event that weekend.
It's not just him, it's him and Maddie, both of them.
Him and who?
Maddie Gordon.
Well,
Yeah.
doesn't Ron Capps own her team?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
Top Fuel dragster, yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, if let's face it, they could force each other into racers having to make a choice.
Oh, I'm sure they're definitely going to do that next year.
It wouldn't surprise me, not at all. So, huh?
Well, I've said since PRI this year that I think what you may end up seeing is the NHRA mafia personality come out. Maybe not. I could be wrong. It's my personal opinion.
You know, I don't see NHRA doing that. I would think IHRA would do that before NHRA. I still think that I don't want to say they're not phased by it, by everything that's going on with IHRA. I just don't think that they're willing to show that they're phased by it. I just think they're going to have the attitude of, we still got our 24, 26, whatever we have, national events, 22.
Yeah.
We're going to add some things. We're going to change some things up. We're going to allow pro stock to put hood scoops back on, and that might help other manufacturers getting involved. They lifted they raised the rev limiter on pro stock 500 RPM. They got the Street Outlaws guys. They're not that I'll probably get hate mail from this, but they let electric cars do exhibition runs and stuff, and I just think they're aware, but I don't think they're really willing to show that they're phased by this. And I don't know if they ever will. I do believe that in their heart of hearts, they still think they're the only game in town. So we'll see.
Did you get a chance to see the pass that electric Turbojet made? That was badass. I saw a video of it.
221. I think he went like 680 or something crazy like that.
Like I want to say 687.
Yeah. It's fast. For
Yeah.
something that doesn't make any noise, that sure is fast.
I mean, obviously electric cars are a huge thing right now as far as issues.
Yeah, I mean,
But
listen, I would
there's
never want
still
to own one.
the technology. You and I have
That's it.
talked about
And that's
the
it. I would never want to
technology
own
of
one,
it.
but you can't help but be impressed by the technology.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
isn't it?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's a technology thing for me. I would love to see one go down the track. I would love to touch and feel one. I would never want to own one, and I would probably never watch a class of 20 of them racing against each other. But to see the technology and what's going on, and I definitely wouldn't park near one, I'll tell you that. But to see the technology and see what's going on, yeah, it's impressive. I mean, it's someone that wants to take that much technology and craftsmanship and innovation and put it down a quarter mile that we all love, right? Because I mean, they could put all that technology in a NASCAR and go around in circles, right? They could put it in a drift car and slide around corners. They're choosing to put it on a drag strip. So you know what? If someone's going through all that work to put something down the eighth or the quarter mile, hell, I'd be willing to watch it. Why not?
I mean, you got to think about the weight
I'll be honest, I
alone.
got taken out by one once.
By a Tesla.
Yeah, when I was in a foot brake class that one year, like 4 or 5 years ago, I was down at the bracket finals. I lost the first round. I got into the con series, and I think I got taken out the second round by Tesla.
Yeah.
You got to think about the weight of the batteries that that thing has to have in it.
Right.
You know, the weight of those alone.
Yeah.
You
To
know,
make
plus the
the kind of
cell.
power to make a door car go 680s at 220, you're
And the stupid
carrying
thing probably weighs
you're carrying some
5,000
battery
pounds.
packs with you. I mean, you're not doing that with two Optimas in the trunk. That's for
No.
damn sure. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever. I wouldn't mind seeing it. Well, anywho, I think we babbled enough about, with the exception of talking about Matt's win. This has truly just been a friggin' babble fest about absolutely nothing.
And that
So,
is okay.
yeah, it happens from time to time.
Yep. So we won't be back next week because somebody's going to the warm side of the universe, I think, right?
No.
Is it next week or the week after?
Next time I'm going is Memorial Day weekend. I still got a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. Well, I've been working on some stuff, so I just haven't heard back from some people.
Cool.
So
Yeah, no,
waiting to hear.
if something pops up, I might be able to pull off. The only thing that I'm doing now is I'm coaching girls softball at school. So depending on if we have a game and if it's an away game, if it's a home game, piece of cake. If it's an away game, then depending on when I get home or
How
whatever.
far away it is? Yeah.
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 We
And
travel some are over an hour away one way.
my schedule is the kids graduate the 31st and then they go home on the 2nd or the 3rd. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Our
So
last
before we
day of school is June 29th.
ha
Painful.
the
Absolutely painful.
joys of working at a private boarding school where the kids have to walk the most a half a mile to class.
Yeah. Nah, what are you gonna do?
It's
I
only
still
the
get 2
idiots
months
like me
off,
that
so
have
I
to
can't
drive to the
complain.
campus.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you covered this or not, but Matt, what are your plans schedule wise for the rest of the year?
Hold on, I can answer that. Seeing as how he's in first place in the Northeast Super Street Association, my guess is he's going to race that series. How did I do, Matt?
Pretty accurate. I was gonna run that regardless,
Yep.
but I'm probably just gonna 95% of the time stay at limited. I just because shoestring budget, getting back into it after and putting all this money I've been putting into it. And
After he drops his car off at my shop and I rake him over the coals with a bill. Go ahead, Matt. You can say it.
no, no, I'll be racing the necessaries and super points. Hopefully, try and qualify for bracket finals if I can afford it. Even though I'm a top bowl guy and a .90 guy, I'd like to try and get down to the Grove for the Door Wars race in October. But we'll see how that goes then.
Are you going to try the
Nice.
Dusen race?
What's that?
The Dusen race?
Oh yeah,
in,
I'll definitely do the
August?
divisional. I might try and do the Epping divisional too. Obviously I wanted to do the nationals, but A, I probably can't afford all that all at once, and B, I don't have the grade point for it.
Right. How about the Dusen twin tens?
I'll be at that.
Cool.
Excellent. We'll get the whole band back together.
Outstanding. I'll wedge my
stuff.
tent right in between you guys.
There you go. That works.
Yep.
Good deal. All right, guys. You know what I'm getting ready to do.
Night night.
Yep. 4:30 comes quick.
Oh,
Ugh. Ugh.
All right. Well, Matt, thanks for coming on.
well, thanks for having me.
And
You're welcome. And welcome
this-
back, by the
Thank
way.
you.
What was the show, the TV show about absolutely nothing? Was it Seinfeld?
Seinfeld. Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. So this is the podcast about absolutely nothing.
We got to be careful though. Seinfeld might try and sue us.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah. When your wife was logging us on, she's like, "Well, where's the intro music? What do we do?" I'm like, "Girl, it's been a long
You're out
time."
of touch, sister.
Yeah, right. She said, "Oh, I really like the woman that did the voiceovers and the music." I'm like, "Yeah, she's a hottie."
Yeah, I'll just send him to your lawyer. Here,
Yeah,
call this guy.
yeah,
This is his
exactly.
business. He's got a successful business,
Yeah.
so
Oh
he'll
well.
he'll talk to you.
Right. So Matt, thanks again, buddy.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll be talking, but best of luck to you for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'll try not to blow up your phone at the next race.
Oh, you're all good. It's all good. Worst case scenario, if I don't want to talk to you, I'll just ignore you.
Fair enough.
And that's
I
it,
know
Chris.
that
Nice
feeling.
seeing you again. Glad you made it.
Thank you, sir. And
And
good
we're
to
outta
see you,
here.
man.
See you guys.
Yeah. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how we do that. Insanity. And we'll catch y'all later. Have a great night. Talk to you soon. See you.